All right now, honey, pull up a chair and set that coffee down because Auntie Grace needs to talk to you for a minute. Let me tell you something that makes my blood pressure rise just a little bit every tax season. Most folks in this country are giving away hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars every single year when they file their taxes, and they don't even realize it. They're paying big money to tax software or handing over their hard-earned cash to an accountant when they could have done it themselves with a little patience and a whole lot less stress. And no, sweetie, you do not need to be a math genius or some fancy accountant to do it. Auntie Grace is going to show you how to keep that money right where it belongs, in your own pocket. Now listen, I know taxes make people nervous. The minute you hear the word IRS, folks start sweating, clutching their purse and thinking they're about to mess something up. But let me tell you the truth real clear. Filing your own taxes in the United States is not as scary as people make it sound. In fact, for millions of Americans, it is very simple. The system is already set up for regular working people, retirees, seniors, young folks, and families with straightforward finances. And every year, companies count on you being scared and confused, so you'll pay them $50, $100, $200 or more. I don't want you paying extra for something you can do yourself, not on Auntie Grace's watch. Let me explain this in plain kitchen table language. When you file your own taxes, you're basically telling the government how much money you made and how much tax you already paid during the year. That's it. If you paid too much, you get a refund. If you paid too little, you owe a little more. Most people already had taxes taken out of their paycheck all year long. That means you're often just checking the math and getting your money back. When you pay for expensive software or a tax preparer, you're often paying them to type in the same information you already have sitting right in front of you. And honey, typing numbers into boxes is not worth a couple $100. Now, does filing your own taxes make sense for everybody? No, and Auntie Grace is always honest with you. If you run a big business, own rental properties, trade complicated investments every day, or have some real fancy financial situations, you might want professional help. But if you're working a job, collecting Social Security, getting a pension, receiving unemployment, or just have a regular life like most folks, you can do this yourself. I promise you can. And once you do it one time, you'll wonder why you ever paid somebody else. So let me walk you through this nice and slow. First things first, you gather your papers. I don't want you scrambling at the last minute, okay? You're going to need your income forms. That usually means a W-2 if you worked a job, or a 1099 if you did contract work, or a Social Security statement if you're retired. These forms tell you how much money you made and how much tax was already taken out. That's your foundation, baby. Put those papers in a little pile, maybe right there on the table next to your tea. Next, you're going to choose a free or low-cost way to file. And this is where people really get tricked, so listen close. The IRS has something called free filing options for folks under certain income levels. Many people qualify and don't even know it. There are also companies that offer genuinely free versions for simple returns. Free means free, honey. Not free until the very last screen when they ask for your credit card. If it says free for basic returns and your taxes are basic, that's what you use. Auntie Grace does not like surprises, especially expensive ones. When you sit down to file, the program will ask you simple questions, just like I'm talking to you right now. Did you work this year? Did you have taxes taken out? Are you married? Do you have children? Did you pay for health insurance? You answer honestly, and the software does the math for you. You don't need to memorize tax laws. You don't need to calculate percentages in your head. You just answer the questions one by one. Think of it like a long conversation where the computer is doing the heavy lifting. Now, let me talk about the main tax form because folks get scared when they hear form numbers. The main form is called the 1040. Don't let that number intimidate you. It's just the main page that summarizes everything. Most people never even see it until the end because the software fills it in for you. If you have a little extra income or adjustments, there might be an extra page or two attached, but again, the system takes care of that. You're not filling out blank paper forms by hand unless you want to. This is not 1978, sweetheart. One thing Auntie Grace wants you to be careful about is reading each screen slowly. Don't just click next, next, next like you're skipping commercials. This is where mistakes happen. Make sure your name is spelled right. Make sure your social security number is correct. Make sure your bank account number is right if you want direct deposit. A wrong number can delay your refund, and we don't want that. Take your time. The IRS is not rushing you, and neither am I. Now, let me tell you about some common mistakes people make so you don't fall into the same trap. One big mistake is missing income. Sometimes folks forget a small 1099 from a side job or interest from a bank account. The IRS already knows about that money, honey. If it was reported, they know. So make sure you include all your forms. Another mistake is picking the wrong filing status. Single, married, head of household, widow, these matter. The software will usually help you choose, but don't guess. Read the explanation and pick the one that fits your life. Another big mistake is missing credits and deductions. Credits are like little gifts that reduce your tax bill dollar for dollar. Deductions lower the amount of income that gets taxed. Things like child tax credits, education credits, retirement contributions, and medical expenses can save you real money. Don't assume you don't qualify. Answer every question honestly and carefully. Sometimes folks skip questions because they think they don't apply, and that's how money gets left on the table. Now, let me be clear about something, because Auntie Grace doesn't sugarcoat. Filing your own taxes does not mean being sloppy. It means being responsible. Double-check your numbers. Review the summary at the end. If something looks strange, go back and look again. If the refund seems way bigger or way smaller than you expected, that's a sign to slow down and review. Trust your instincts, honey. You know your own life. Let's talk about who really should file their own taxes. If you have 1 or 2 jobs, maybe some retirement income, maybe Social Security, maybe a little savings interest, you are a perfect candidate. If you're a student, a senior, a working parent, or someone just trying to get by, filing yourself is often the smartest move. You save money, you learn how the system works, and you're not dependent on anyone else. That's empowerment, baby. All right, honey, let Auntie Grace slow this down and stretch it out a bit, because this part right here is important, and I don't want you missing a single word. When I say some folks should still consider professional help, I mean that with no shame attached. If you're running multiple businesses, juggling rental properties, flipping houses, trading stocks like it's a second job, or dealing with money coming in from other countries, that's a whole different ballgame. That kind of situation has moving parts, and sometimes paying a good, honest professional can actually save you money in the long run, and that's perfectly fine. Auntie Grace is not here to bash accountants or tax pros. I'm just here to make sure you're not paying someone $200 or $300 to type in a W-2 and hit submit. That's the part that makes me side-eye the whole situation. Spend money where it truly adds value, not where fear tells you to. Now let's talk about saving money the smart, steady way, because this is where a lot of folks slip up without realizing it. First thing, keep your records all year long, not just when the clock starts ticking in tax season. Get yourself a simple folder, an envelope, or even a little box, and every time something tax-related comes in, put it right there. Charity donations, medical bills, school expenses, retirement contributions, all of it. When tax time comes, you won't be running around the house looking under couch cushions and old purses trying to remember what you paid. Organization saves money, baby, because when you're calm and prepared, you don't rush or miss things. Second, always file electronically and choose direct deposit if you can. Paper filing takes longer, gets lost more easily, and has more mistakes. Electronic filing walks you through everything step by step, checks for common errors, and gets your refund back to you faster. And direct deposit means your money goes straight into your account without waiting on the mail or worrying about lost checks. That's your money, and I want it reaching you quickly and safely. Third, and Auntie Grace really wants you to hear this one, do not pay for extra add-ons you don't need. These tax companies are real slick with their little upgrade screens. Audit protection, deluxe help, premium support, priority processing. Most everyday people do not need any of that. The chances of being audited are very low, and even if it happens, the IRS communicates clearly. Don't let fear talk you into opening your wallet. If your return is simple, keep it simple. Every extra button you click that costs money is money walking right out the door, and I don't want that for you. Now, listen closely, sweetheart, because this part is straight from Auntie Grace's heart. Do not let fear run your finances. Fear is expensive. Fear makes people overpay, rush decisions, and give away money they worked hard for. Confidence, on the other hand, puts money back in your pocket. Confidence says, let me read this again. Confidence says, I can handle this. And you can. You are smarter than you've been told. You've been managing bills, families, jobs, and life itself. Filing a tax return is not bigger than you. And once you do it yourself, even one time, something shifts. You realize, oh, this wasn't so bad. You might even smile a little because you kept your money and learned something. I've seen folks do a whole happy dance right there in the kitchen, and don't think Auntie Grace won't dance with you. Before I let you go, let me say this gently and clearly. I don't want you stressed out. I don't want you lying awake at night worried about taxes. I don't want you thinking this system is some secret code only rich folks and fancy people understand. It was built for everyday working people, retirees, parents, students, and seniors, even if it doesn't always feel that way. You deserve to understand your own money. You deserve to keep as much of it as the law allows. And you absolutely deserve to feel confident instead of confused. Auntie Grace is here to remind you of that every single time. So here's what I want you to do next, honey. If this talk helped you even a little bit, go ahead and like this video so it can reach someone else who needs it. Drop a comment and tell Auntie Grace if you're thinking about filing your own taxes this year, or if you've done it before and how it went. Subscribe so I can keep showing up for you with simple, honest, no-nonsense money talk. And please share this with a friend, a cousin, a neighbor, or that family member who's always complaining about taxes but keeps doing the same thing every year. Sometimes people just need a little encouragement and a loving push. All right, now, take a deep breath, straighten your shoulders, and go on about your day. You've got this, sweetie. And remember, Auntie Grace is always right here at the table with you, rooting for you, praying for you, and making sure you don't pay one penny more than you have to.